13th May LeetCode question, total characters in a string after transformations, part 1. So we are given a string and a parameter called t. We have to perform transformations on each characters of this string for t times. And at the end we have to return the length of the new string. So what are the rules for transforming each character? If the character is ranging from a to y, we transform it to b to z, means we just increment it by 1, we just move it to the next character. But if it is z, we don't convert it to a, but rather we convert it to ab. So that is how the length of string will get increased. So for example, here is the string. At time 1, we just increment everything by 1 because there is not z anywhere here, but here there are 2z. So each z would be converted to a new ab. So that is how the string the length of the string becomes now 7. If you look at the constraint, they are ranging till 10 raised to 5. So we have to think of something linear approach. So the approach here is to calculate the initial frequencies. We are going to maintain the frequencies of all the characters. So initial frequencies would be, suppose times 0. The initial frequencies are calculated and stored in a vector or maybe a map of size 26, because it is given in the constraint that the string contains only lowercase English alphabets. Then we update the frequencies for t times. Then we are going to traverse the t value, right? That can be up to 10 raised to 5. So we are going to linearly traverse from 1 to 10 raised to 5, and we just keep updating the frequencies accurately. For example, here a was 1, the frequency of a is 1. So this a will become what at time t1? It will become b. So a is transformed to b, similarly b to c, and c is transformed to d, and this y will be transformed to z. So we just have to keep accurately updating these frequencies till the time t, and in the end, in order to determine the length of the final string, we just have to find the total of all the strings, the total of all the frequencies of each character. So this is at time t1, right? What will happen at time t2? This z is equals to 2. This z will be converted to ab, right? So the frequency of a becomes 2, frequency of b becomes 2. The b here is 1, so b will be transformed to c will be transformed to d, and d is transformed to e. So similarly, we just have to keep maintain the frequencies, and if you find the summation of all these frequencies, you will get the length, that is 7. So here time complexity would be, we're traversing a loop t times, and we are also inside that we are also traversing our frequency array in order to update it, and the size of the frequency array is fixed 26, so it is 26 into t, which is near about O of t. And the space complexity is also, we are only maintaining a frequency vector, so it is near about constant. So let's try to code this. Here it is given that the answer would be very large, so you have to return the mod value here. And here I have done nothing but calculated declared a frequency array and calculated the initial frequency. Now we are going to traverse each time. We are going to traverse t times. So j is less than t, j is incremented, and each time we have to accurately update the frequency. Now in order to update the frequency, we would need a temporary vector. Why so? Because suppose we only have one vector, so the frequency of b got updated based on z value, right here, and now we are trying to update the frequency of c. And how will we update that? This b is equals to 1 is lost if we just use one vector in order to update the frequencies, right? So we will need two vectors. First, we will store all the previous frequencies in a temporary vector. So here is our temporary vector of size 26. Actually, you just have to copy the temporary vector. Let's write our frequency in temporary vector first, and then we are going to change our array to temporary, right? So here what we'll do, we'll traverse till 25. Temporary of I plus 1 is equals to array of I. So basically here temporary of I plus 1, we are starting from 1, that is the value of b. So temporary of b is equals to array of I, which means array of a. So the old frequency of a will get into the new frequency of b. Similarly, the old frequency of b will get into the new frequency of c. And in the end, when the last value is 24, right? So 25, the temporary of 25, which is temporary, which is the frequency of z, it will be the old frequency of 24, which is y, right? Now we are left with updating our a. We are starting here with b, right? And here we are only updating the b based on the old frequency of a, but we are missing out that the value of z can also be converted to b, not just a, right? Here suppose a would be 1, so here b get 3. The two frequencies are from here and one frequency is from here. So after that we will have to do temp of 0, the frequency of a would be the old frequency of z, and frequency of b would be also incremented with the old frequency of z. The the old frequency of a is already handled for b here. We just left with z. So that is why we are dealing with it here. So this is the efficient way of incrementing or updating the frequencies. And in the end, we will just calculate the total of these frequencies. And we return the result mod. And also it is good to mod here too, because sometimes it just gets overflowed. So it's passing all test cases. Right.